Hey Minjians, welcome back. Okay, real talk. Has this ever happened to you? You're about to say a number in Korean and your brain just completely blanks. Wait, 5 o'clock is 5시, 5시, 5, You kind of just throw both out there and hope a Korean person figures it out. Or even worse, you spent like 5 seconds going, wait, is it 5 or 5? And you finally commit to 5시에 타요. And then the Korean person next to you just casually goes, 5시요? And you want to disappear into the floor. Yeah, we've all been there. So about 10 years ago, I made a Korean numbers video. And comments are still rolling in on that thing to this day, which tells me two things. One, you guys are so loyal and I love you for that. And two, this stuff is genuinely hard and there are still so many questions about it. So today, I want to give you the ultimate guide to Korean numbers. Not just how to count, but when to use which system and why it actually makes sense. And honestly, once you get this one rule, everything just clicks. And if this is the kind of breakdown you've been looking for, where Korean actually makes sense explained in English, I have two things for you. If you want to speak Korean, I have a group class where we learn the language through Korean culture, so it actually sticks. And if you want to make Korean part of your weekly routine, I have a subscription club where we study Korean through K-shows. K-reality shows. So it never feels like homework. Every week, you can learn natural Korean expressions. Links are down below, so please go check them out. Here's the thing. Everyone acts like Korean numbers are this huge, complicated mystery. But once you look at it the right way, it's actually pretty straightforward. There are two types of numbers in Korean. And no, I'm not just gonna say Sino Korean numbers and native Korean numbers and call it a day. Because honestly, knowing the names doesn't tell you when to use which one. That's where everyone gets stuck. So today, instead of those labels, I want to call them something that actually helps you feel the difference. Cold numbers and warm numbers. Yes, stick with me. Once I explain the rule, I promise it's going to make way more sense than anything you've heard before. Let's get into it. So, Sino-Korean numbers, aka cold numbers, are basically label numbers. These come from Chinese characters or Hanja, and in Korean they carry this kind of stiff official energy. So, think price tag, think barcode, think the serial number on the back of your phone. It's data, it's official, it's information you're reading off of something, not something you're actually counting with your hands. So, think about your everyday life for a second. The places you live, the things you use, they already have numbers attached to them, right? Fixed numbers, numbers that just exist on a tag somewhere, that's a cold number. Number one, addresses and ID codes. Let's say your apartment number. It's literally printed right there on your door. It's stuck there, fixed. So you would say, 202호에 살아요. I live in unit 202. So did you hear that 202? That's Sino-Korean because you're not counting apartments. You're just reading a tag someone stuck on the door. Same thing with the floors. You can say 5층에 있어요. It's on the 5th floor. Now, if you were counting floors one by one, sure, you would go 하나, 둘, 셋, 넷, 다섯. But when you are talking about a fixed floor value, 5층, it's 5층. Cool number or Sino-Korean number, 5층. Okay, you want to try one? What about these bus numbers? That's right, 86번. So you would say 86번 버스를 타요. I take bus number 86. So you're not counting 86 buses, you're reading a fixed route number, right? So cold number. Number two, money, percentages, measurements. Let's say you walk into a cafe, order your drink, and ask how much. And then the cashier says, 4,000원입니다. It's 4,001. And you can clearly hear there is 4,000원입니다. 4,000원입니다. And now I know what you're thinking, like, but Minji, money feels very warm to me. I hear you, but think about it this way. You're not sitting there counting out 4,000 individual coins one by one. You're handing over a bill that already has 4,000won, like 4,000 printed on it. You're reading a label, cold number. Same goes for anything you measure or calculate. For example, kilograms. You can say 60kg예요. 60kg예요. It's 60 kilograms. Or 겨우 5% 할인이네. Only a 5% discount. 겨우 5% 할인이네. And what about this? If you're driving and your GPS says 목적지까지 3km 남았습니다. 3 kilometers to your destination. So that's a fixed calculated value coming out of a screen. Cold number all the way. 3 minutes and seconds. Now for time, this is where it starts to get a little spicy. Let's take it one piece at a time. Think of minutes and seconds like a stopwatch. You press the button, a value pops up. That's data, right? You're reading a measured result. So you say 30분 걸려요. 30분 걸려요. It takes 30 minutes. 15초 남았어요. 15 seconds left. Those tick marks on a clock. Pure data. So cold number. Sino Korean number. Alright, now let's talk about warm numbers. The complete opposite of Sino Korean numbers. These come from pure Korean or native Korean. And they are for things you can actually see right in front of you and count yourself. Things you can point at, things you can interact with. Warm numbers are your hands-on numbers. Number 1, living things. Picture this. You walk into a restaurant and the host asks, 몇 분이세요? How many in your party? 몇 분이세요? You would say, 2명이요. 2 people. Not 2명, but 2명. 2명이요. 2명이요. Because you can literally look around and count the people with you, like 1, 2, so that's warm. And what about this? These days, so many people have pets, right? So maybe you can say, 고양이 한 마리 키워요. I have 1 cat. Not like 1마리, but 고양이 한 마리 키워요. So just like this, your friend, your cat, your dog, these are real living things you can see and interact with, right? You cannot exactly stick a barcode on your cat. So warm number. What do you think? Can you see how that framing helps? It's not arbitrary anymore, right? Number 2, objects you can literally grab. This is where people sometimes get a little confused, so pay attention. Basically, whenever you are counting things that aren't fixed values, things that could change, things you are physically interacting with, you go warm, or native Korean number. Like when you are ordering, you say, 커피 2잔이요. 2 coffees, please. 커피 2잔이요. Or 맥주 4병이요. 4 bottles of beer. 맥주 4병이요. Not like 맥주 4병이요, but 4병이요. So you can literally go 하나, 둘, 셋, like 1, 2, 3, counting them out as you go. So that's a warm number. One exception though, and I'm sorry, you just gotta memorize this one. When you are ordering meat by the serving, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, like 1인분, 2인분, 3인분, 4인분. We just use Sino-Korean numbers. So you would say 삼겹살 3인분 주세요. 삼겹살 3인분 주세요. Number 3, age. When you're talking about age, you would go with this warm numbers or native Korean numbers. So for example, I'm 25 is 나 25살이야. 나 25살이야. Or what about this? I'm 30 years old is 저 30살이에요. 저 30살이에요. So you actually lived through every single one of those years. So it's not a measurement you're reading off a screen. It's something you experienced. So warm number. But please keep in mind this as well. If you are filling out official paperwork in Korea, you'll see, for example, 만 25세, written in and also read as Sino-Korean numbers. It's the same concept, but it has to be used in that way in a formal setting. But in everyday conversation, always go warm as for ages. And what about order? first, second, third. When you line things up and count them, you get sequence. And that's worm too. Like 첫 번째, for the first one, it's not like 하나 번째, it's 첫 번째. And then for the second, third, you go 두 번째, 세 번째, and so on. Because you're counting out positions one by one. So worm number. Okay, and I already know what you're thinking. Then why is it 2시 and not 2시? Or why isn't it 1시 1분? Great question, and here's how I want you to think about it. And honestly, just memorize this one exception with this framing and you will be fine. So, 시, the hour, think of it like a chunk of your day, like lunchtime, time to sleep, or I've been waiting for 2 hours, and so on. It's something you actually feel and experience, so you go with warm numbers. And 분, the minute, that's just a tick mark on a clock. So it's precise, measured, and it's a data, so cold number. So you go like 1분, 2분, 3분, 4분, and so on. 2:30, for example, we say 2시 30분. So it's a one sentence, but we use two different number systems. And once you feel that difference, it actually makes total sense. And now, years, back to Sino. Sorry, but yeah, we use Sino Korean numbers for year. So for example, I went to Korea a year ago. We say 1년 전에 한국에 갔어요. Not like 하나년 전에. We don't say like that. We say 1년 전에 한국에 갔어요. 1년 전에 한국에 갔어요. And what about this? I'm graduating in 2 years. Yes, we say 2년. 2년 뒤에 졸업해요. 2년 뒤에 졸업해요. So, months, dates, same deal, they are all Sino or cold data, cold numbers. What about this? You can say 11월 1일. That's my birthday, by the way. 11월 1일. That's how you read it. And today's date, 2026년 4월 17일. All Sino, all cold numbers. 2026년 4월 17일. 2026년 4월 17일. Actually, only the hour, 시, gets that worm treatment, I would say. So just remember, hours are worm. Everything else in a date or time is cold. As for hours, you use native numbers like 1시, 2시, 3시, and so on. And all other data are cold numbers. Okay, this is the one that trips up even intermediate learners, so pay attention, this is good stuff. Both 개월 and 달 means months, but they feel completely different. Let's say your visa has 3 months left. You would say, 비자가 3개월 남았어요. My visa has 3 months left. So we use Sino-Korean number, 비자가 3개월 남았어요. Or what about 1 year and 6 months? We say 비자가 1년 6개월 남았어요. My visa has 1 year and 6 months left. 비자가 1년 6개월 남았어요. This is going on a document, it's official, it's data, so you use cold number for 개월. 1개월, 2개월, 3개월, and so on. But now, what if you've been living through those months? You've been experiencing them. What about this one? 아기가 태어난 지 3달 됐어요. It's been 3 months since the baby was born. 아기가 태어난 지 3달 됐어요. So you were there for every single one of those months. You felt it. So worm numbers are used for 달, months. It's the same amount of time, but the context is completely different, right? That's the system doing exactly what it is supposed to do. Pretty cool, right? Okay, last thing, and this one's quick, I promise. Worm numbers kind of have a cap. Like you can count 1 apple, 2 apples, all the way up to 99, but at some point it just gets impractical, right? Therefore, 100 and above, always cold numbers. For example, if you want to say there are about 10,000 students in the whole school, you would say 전교의 학생 수는 1,000명 정도예요. So I just said 1,000. 전교의 학생 수는 1,000명 정도예요. So like this, big numbers. For example, it's 15,001. 15,000원입니다. 15,000원입니다. So once you're in triple digits, you're not counting things out one by one anymore. You're just dealing with a number. So you switch to the label system, like cold numbers. Simple as that. Alright, so next time you need a number in Korean, just ask yourself, am I reading a label off of something, or am I literally counting things out in front of me? That one question honestly does most of the heavy lifting for you. If you like this video, please drop a comment below and tell me something you want to buy in Korea and write the quantity using today's rule. I will check your answers. And did today's video help? I've been teaching Korean exclusively in English for over 10 years. Not like, here's the grammar rule, memorize it, but actually breaking it down so it genuinely clicks in your brain. If that sounds like what you need, I have two things for you, like I said. Group class. We learn Korean with culture within it. So you're picking up expressions that actually come up in real life, not just textbook stuff. And if you want real feedback on your pronunciation or writing, I have a weekly edutainment study pack where you get actual personalized feedback, not just passive watching. Both links are right below in the description box, so go check them out, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!